This $320,000 supercar is now selling for under $90,000. This $280,000 Bentley, yours for $45,000. Here's why the rich man's toy becomes tomorrow's Craigslist steal, and it's not what you think. You just drove off paying $400K, but the second you hit the road, $80,000 vanished. Forever. Luxury brands are secretly printing money. For used car buyers like you, we'll reveal the top brutal reasons and the real cars that crashed hardest. BMW 7 Series, Audi A8, Jaguar XJ, Maserati Ghibli, older Mercedes S-Class, Porsche Panamera. Stick around. The number one reason will make you rethink ever buying new luxury again. Have you heard of the first owner premium and the used car penalty? Let's begin with a simple, brutal truth about buying a very expensive, brand new motor car. A significant chunk of the money you hand over isn't for the metal, isn't for the leather, isn't for the engine. It is for a feeling. It is the price of being the very first person to sit in that driver's seat, to breathe in that intoxicating new car smell, and to peel the protective plastic from the infotainment screen. You are paying an enormous premium for the privilege of novelty, for the status that comes with owning the latest and greatest machine to roll out of Stuttgart, Munich, Gaydon. This is the first owner premium, a colossal surcharge for an experience that, quite literally, evaporates the second your rear wheels cross the dealership's threshold and touch public asphalt. The problem, you see, is that the rest of the world doesn't care one bit about your special moment. The moment that car is legally yours and has been driven, it is no longer new. It is, in the cold, hard language of the market, used, and the penalty for being used is immediate and catastrophic. For some of the grandest luxury saloons and SUVs, this isn't a gentle slide, it's a sheer cliff face. We're talking about a value drop of 20% or more within the first year, a financial gut punch that feels less like depreciation and more like outright theft. The market for people willing and able to spend over six figures on a new car is vanishingly small. The market for those same people wanting a one-year-old version of that car is even smaller. Consider the majestic Bentley Continental GT. A magnificent machine, no doubt. When new, it could easily set you back north of $320,000 with a few choice options ticked. But fast forward just 4 or 5 years. The same car, with perhaps 30,000 miles on the clock, can be found languishing on a used car lot for under $90,000. That's a loss of over $230,000. That is more than the entire cost of a brand new Porsche 911. The value hasn't just dropped, it has been obliterated, reduced to less than a third of its original sticker price. Why? Because the person buying it used is not paying for the new feeling. They're just buying a car, and a car with a reputation for expensive habits at that. The initial price is inflated by intangible factors like brand prestige, marketing budgets, and the dealer's desire for a healthy profit margin. Once those intangibles are stripped away by the simple act of driving it, all that's left is the car itself. The first owner premium and the used car penalty. Let's delve deeper into this idea of the first owner premium, because it is the foundational sin of luxury car depreciation. When a manufacturer like Mercedes-Benz sets the price for a new S-Class, they are not just calculating the cost of the raw materials and the labor. They are pricing in decades of brand building, billions spent on Formula One racing, and the carefully cultivated image of Teutonic excellence. The dealer then adds their own margin, plus the cost of those outrageously priced optional extras. That $5,000 panoramic sunroof doesn't actually cost $5,000 to make and install. You are paying for the privilege of choice, the ability to custom order your dream machine exactly as you want it. This is the peak of the value mountain. The descent begins the moment you sign the papers. In the eyes of the market, that car is now a commodity, and its value is determined not by the dreams of its first owner, but by the cold, hard logic of what someone else is willing to pay for it. And they are not willing to pay for your memories. They are not willing to pay for the marketing budget. They are certainly not willing to pay the full price for those optional extras. A used car buyer might appreciate the upgraded Burmester sound system, but they will not pay the original $6,730 it cost. Its value on the used market might be a few $100s, if that. This is the brutal stripping away of intangible value. Consider a real-world example: the magnificent Audi A8. A new one, loaded with technology and comfort, can easily sail past the $120,000 mark. It is a technological tour de force. Yet, industry data consistently shows it is one of the fastest depreciating vehicles you can buy. It is not uncommon for an A8 to lose over 65% of its value in the first 3 to 4 years. That $120,000 car is now a $42,000 car. Because the person shopping for a used $42,000 sedan has a world of options, including brand new, fully warranted cars from other brands. The Audi must be priced aggressively to compete, and that means shedding its original premium at a terrifying rate. This creates what we can call the used penalty. The car is penalized simply for having had a previous owner. It carries the stigma of being second-hand, and that stigma has a clear and quantifiable cost. Section 4. Reason 2. The terror of four-figure repair bills. If the initial depreciation hit is a punch to the gut, the fear of post-warranty repair bills is the lingering dread that haunts every prospective used luxury car buyer. These are not simple machines. A modern Range Rover or BMW 7 Series is a breathtakingly complex tapestry of electronics, air suspension systems, twin turbocharged engines, and 8-speed dual-clutch gearboxes. When they are out of warranty and something goes wrong, they have the potential to become financial black holes, capable of swallowing your savings with a single trip to the garage. A simple headlight on a standard family car might cost a couple of £100 to replace. The adaptive matrix laser headlight on a high-end luxury car? That could be a $3,000 part before you even factor in the specialized labor required to install and calibrate it. That delicate air suspension system that provides such a pillowy ride can spring a leak. Replacing the struts and compressor can easily run into the thousands. An infotainment screen that goes blank is not a simple fix. It might require replacing an entire electronic control module that costs more than a decent used motorcycle. These are not theoretical problems. They are common realities discussed in hushed, fearful tones on owner forums across the internet. This repair terror directly impacts what a person is willing to pay for the car. A buyer looking at a 5-year-old Jaguar XJ, a beautiful and elegant saloon, knows that while the purchase price might seem like a bargain, they are also buying a lottery ticket for a potential 5-figure repair. They will mentally subtract the potential cost of a new transmission or a full brake job from the car's asking price. This collective anxiety among buyers forces sellers and dealers to lower prices dramatically to find a willing soul. The numbers are stark. Some reports suggest that the average maintenance cost for a luxury brand can be 3 to 4 times that of a non-luxury brand over the first 10 years of a car's life. When a car has lost 70% of its value, but its replacement parts still cost 100% of their original price, the ownership proposition becomes terrifyingly skewed. This is why a certified pre-owned CPO program can be a smart move. A CPO car from a main dealer often comes with an extended manufacturer warranty, effectively neutralizing the repair terror for a year or two and making the purchase a much safer bet. It's a bargain win that provides peace of mind. Many people imagine that every gleaming luxury car on the road was meticulously chosen and purchased by a wealthy individual. The reality is, far more industrial. A huge percentage of these vehicles are not sold one by one to private buyers, but in bulk to large corporations. They become part of executive car fleets, high-end rental services, hotel limousine pools. These cars are tools of business, status symbols for senior managers, comfortable transport for VIP clients. They are typically leased for a set term, usually 2 to 3 years, then returned to the manufacturer's finance arm en masse. This is where the flood begins. Suddenly, the market is deluged with hundreds, sometimes thousands, of identical or very similar cars. Imagine a wave of 3-year-old silver Mercedes E-Class sedans, all with between 30,000 and 50,000 miles, all hitting the auction blocks at the same time. Basic economics dictates what happens next. When supply dramatically outstrips demand, prices must fall to clear the inventory. The leasing company needs to sell these cars quickly to recoup its investment. It cannot afford to wait for the perfect buyer. This fire sale mentality drags down the value of all similar cars on the market, including privately owned ones. This fleet flood has a profound effect on specific models: BMW 7 Series, Audi A8, Jaguar XF. They are seen as common, almost ubiquitous in corporate car parks, eroding the sense of exclusivity. A car that was once a statement of executive success becomes just another piece of off-lease office equipment, like a used photocopier. This perception, combined with sheer volume, is toxic for residual values. The cars are simply too common to be considered special anymore. However, for the sharp-eyed bargain hunter, this is fantastic news. Another clear bargain win. These ex-lease cars are often serviced on schedule at main dealers. They've spent much of their lives cruising on motorways, far less stressful on an engine than city driving. You can find a well-maintained, low-mileage luxury car for a staggeringly low price because there are so many available. The key is to check the history carefully and look for one treated with a modicum of mechanical sympathy. The savings can be enormous thanks to the impersonal nature of corporate fleet disposal. In the past, a luxury car's appeal was timeless. It was based on the quality of the leather, the smoothness of the engine, and the elegance of the design. Today, a huge part of a car's perceived value is tied up in its technology, and technology ages like milk, not wine. The giant cutting-edge touchscreen in a 2021 model can look slow, pixelated, and unintuitive by 2026. The user interface becomes clunky, maps go out of date, and it may lack features like wireless Apple CarPlay. This rapid technological obsolescence is driving down the value of used luxury cars. The problem has been supercharged by the auto industry's love for subscriptions. Manufacturers are increasingly building cars with hardware for features like heated seats, adaptive cruise control, extra horsepower, but many are only activated if the owner pays a monthly or annual fee. A used buyer might discover a heated steering wheel will go cold unless they fork over $20 a month. This makes the car less desirable. You aren't just buying the car, you could be buying a list of monthly bills. The move toward electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles adds another layer of anxiety. The battery is the single most expensive component, and a failure out of warranty, a $20,000 replacement, can slam resale value. Even the fear of degradation depresses price. A first-generation luxury EV might have had a 250-mile range when new, but compared to newer 400-mile models, it feels instantly obsolete. The software, not just the hardware, becomes a point of failure. Will the manufacturer keep providing security updates? Will the onboard app still work in 5 years? For the used buyer, it's a depreciating asset with a depreciating tech core. Smart buyers look for cars where the core driving experience isn't dependent on a screen, or they factor potential tech headaches into their offer. Well, that's, pretty much the tech reality. A luxury brand's badge is its most valuable asset. It's a symbol, a promise of quality, performance, prestige. For decades, names like Jaguar, Maserati, Alfa Romeo have evoked images of style, passion, sporting heritage. This powerful brand image is what convinces people to spend a premium. However, this reputation is fragile. In the age of the internet, a brand's golden luster can be tarnished fast. A steady stream of stories about crippling reliability issues, eye-watering repair costs, poor customer service can quickly poison public perception. Owner forums, YouTube channels, social media groups become echo chambers where horror stories are shared and magnified. A viral video of a Maserati Ghibli with a catastrophic engine failure can be viewed by millions. That cements the idea the brand is a money pit. It doesn't matter if 99% of the cars are perfectly fine. Perception becomes reality for the used car market. Potential buyers, armed with a smartphone and 5 minutes of searching, will see these warnings and simply walk away, opting for a safer, more predictable alternative. This shift in brand perception directly translates to lower prices. Dealers end up with lots full of cars people are afraid to own. To move the metal, they slash prices. A car that was once Italian flair becomes a high-risk gamble, and its price reflects that. Jaguar, for example, has long fought a reputation for electrical gremlins. Even though modern Jags are far more reliable, that old stigma still hits resale values on older models. The market has a long memory. This isn't to say the cars are bad. Often they offer a driving experience and a sense of style missing from sensible German or Japanese rivals. That's where a brave bargain hunter can win big. Buying a well-maintained Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio that has already taken its biggest depreciation hit could be the most fun you can have for the money, provided you go in eyes wide open with a contingency fund. Yeah, that's the trade-off. Amidst this carnage of crashing values, there stands a notable exception. A brand that seems to defy the laws of depreciation. Porsche. While a large luxury saloon might lose 60% of its value in 4 years, a Porsche 911 will often lose less than half that. Certain special models, a GT3, a limited edition speedster, may not depreciate at all. In fact, they often appreciate, becoming sought-after collector's items. This is no accident. It's a masterful, long-term strategy. First, carefully manage supply. Porsche doesn't build as many cars as its larger rivals. It doesn't flood the market with the 911. It keeps healthy order books and waiting lists, so demand outstrips supply. You won't find vast parks of ex-lease 911s being dumped. The cars are rarer, and that rarity preserves value. They're not common corporate fleet vehicles. Second, a fanatical, loyal following. Motorsport pedigree and analog driving joy. A Porsche is an enthusiast's machine. Robust used market. Older models are prized, sometimes even more than the new ones. A 10-year-old 911 is not seen as an obsolete piece of technology. It is seen as a classic driving machine, a different flavor of a legendary recipe. This constant demand from a dedicated fan base acts as a strong floor for used prices. Finally, impressive engineering and relative reliability. Porsches are complex but robust. You can drive them daily. That reduces the fear factor for used buyers. The Porsche paradox, thrilling to drive and not a complete financial disaster to own. Well, it's, an odd bit of good news. The story of luxury car depreciation is a brutal one. As we have seen, the combination of a massive initial premium, the terror of high repair costs, a market flooded by ex-lease vehicles, rapid technological obsolescence, and a fickle brand image can create a perfect storm of financial loss. A car that begins its life as a $150,000 symbol of success can be worth less than a new Honda Civic just 4 years later. For the person who buys new and sells after a few years, the experience can be nothing short of catastrophic. A lesson in economics that costs tens of thousands of dollars per year. However, this tale of financial woe has a silver lining. One person's catastrophic loss is another person's incredible opportunity. The very forces that destroy the value for the first owner are what create amazing bargains for the second, third. Understanding these 5 demons of depreciation allows you to turn the market's irrationality to your advantage. It allows you to step into a world of unparalleled comfort, performance, engineering for a fraction of what it cost just a few years prior. The shock of the initial price drop becomes the foundation for a smart, savvy purchase. The key is to buy with your head, not just your heart. This means doing your homework. It means seeking out a car with a complete and verifiable service history. It means prioritizing a certified pre-owned vehicle that comes with the peace of mind of an extended warranty, effectively neutralizing the fear of ruinous repair bills. It means understanding which models are known for their reliability and which ones are notorious for their problems. It means recognizing that a 3-year-old car has already endured the steepest part of its depreciation curve, making it a far more stable asset than a brand new one. Ultimately, the smart money in the luxury car world is rarely spent in the pristine environment of a new car showroom. It is spent on the used market by buyers who are patient, informed, and willing to let someone else pay the exorbitant price of being first.